Hey everyone, Dumont Owen here, and it's Wednesday at noon. So we're going to be talking about LinkedIn. And today, well, before we start, I want to make sure that everyone can hear me. I do have my page up. There is, for those of you who haven't been on a StreamYard broadcast before, there's a lag, but there's about a 10-second lag between when I'm talking and when I can see your comments, so just be aware of that. But I'm not seeing any comments yet. If you want me to know who you are, when you make a comment or you ask a question, just go above me. There's a box where you can, or there's a box where you can grant StreamYard the right to see your name from Facebook. So once you set that up, you're set up from then on. Okay, so today we're talking about how to create a perfect LinkedIn invitation. And, that is just so important because, growing your network relies upon connections, right? So it's really important to get responses. And if you have been sending out invitations and you haven't been getting, acceptances, we're going to go over why that is today. So hold on a second. I am going to share my screen, and this always takes a minute here. Okay. Okay. Okay, here we are. Sorry, I'm a little rusty today. It's just been one of those days. Anyway, we're ready to start, and I am just so glad you're here because I have some really cool things for you today. I'm going to show you exactly how to write your LinkedIn invitations. And if you stick around to the end, you're going to see how to get copies of all of these invitations as templates. So be sure to hang around. And for those of you who aren't on the live call, you're going to get a link to the templates too. So let's get started. Okay. What are we going to talk about? Well, first of all, we'll just briefly go over, the model for generations or for lead generation and where connection requests fall in that. The number one reason that invitations get rejected. Good to know. What not to do. And the formula for creating an irresistible invitation. And then I'm going to show you 7 invitation templates that you should absolutely, totally steal, but you don't have to because I'm going to give them to you. Anyway, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dumont Owen. I have a real passion for helping coaches and consultants build their practices with their ideal clients on LinkedIn. This is the place to do it. So just a little about me, 20 years in higher education. So I still have that real research and instructional interest. And I like to, because I'm an academic, I like to take topics and drill down all the way and go deep with them. So when I show you how to do something, I'm going to show you exactly how to develop it at that core level. Okay, I'm a digital branding strategist, and I'm certified as a master personal brand strategist, and I'm an executive and leadership coach. Enough about me. Okay, let's talk about the buyer's journey. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because everything you do on LinkedIn needs to be tied back in some way to this. And I'm going to explain to you exactly what that means. The buyer's journey is the stages that a buyer goes through before they purchase from you. Okay, so the first stage is awareness. And in the awareness stage, they know they have a problem. Your clients would know they have a problem, but they're not really sure what's causing it. For instance, if they've had a revenue drop in the first quarter, they may not know exactly what's causing that. So they still want to talk to people. So in that stage, at the very beginning, 19% want to talk to a salesperson, or if you do your own sales, to you. The second stage is consideration. Here, they know what the problem is, and they are shopping for solutions. They're going around, they're considering, they're researching, they're really trying to find, what the best solution would be. And at this stage, a whopping 60% want to talk with someone. Okay. And then finally, you have the decision stage. Now, this is just like it sounds. This is when, they sign on the dotted line, as we say. And at the decision stage, 20% want to connect with the salesperson. And the reason I'm saying this is because if you're going to really master LinkedIn, you want to grab all of those people, not just the people who are in the decision stage. So that means you're going to be, top of mind. You're going to be the person that they're going to call or they're going to reach out to when they're ready to buy. So, let all those people who are just hitting the decision stage, just hit those people, those 20%, you're going to be hitting, almost 100% of them. Okay. 99%. Okay, the lucrative LinkedIn lead generator, and I am not going to go through the entire generator for you today. Those of you who have been with me know this model, but what I want to show you, what I want to just briefly mention is that there are 4 stages. The first one is where you set your strategy based on your goals, your niche, and your personal brand. The second is awareness, and that's where you're going to build your profile and create your content marketing strategy and plans and all of that. And then really look at automation and see what you can do and can't do safely on LinkedIn, because there are a lot of things you can't do with automation on LinkedIn. We're going to look at relationship building. And prospecting is the first part. That's where you're finding the people. Connecting, sending them invitations is the second stage of this. And then the third stage is nurturing, where you build that relationship. And finally, in the last stage, you have sales and analyzing your goals, against you, or analyzing the metrics to see if you met your goals, and also getting those clients so happy with you, they'll go out and they will just rave about you to everyone in sight. Okay, so today we are in that third stage of relationship building. You can't build a relationship until you're connected on LinkedIn. I mean, you have to have a first degree connection, right? So let's look at this. Okay, do you know why your invitations aren't getting a response if they're not? And I'm assuming they're not since you're here. Okay, 1, you're trying to sell them stuff and you're doing it in your information. No. It doesn't pay to rush that process. Okay, there's nothing personal about your invitation. There's, that dreaded generic invitation on LinkedIn. I'd like to add you to my professional network on LinkedIn. Boring. It is not making it personal. It's just, it's like the note you wrote in elementary school. Do you like me? Yes or no? Check the box. No. Okay. Your invitation is irrelevant. You're not appealing to anything that they're interested in, and you're probably the wrong person. So you haven't targeted them well enough. Your picture looks like you're Donald Duck on drugs. Okay. When they come to your profile, you really want them to see a professional looking profile. And 4 or 5, your invitation is all about you and not about them. And your invitation, it's so important. If you make it all about you, it's kind of like Going to dinner and monopolizing the conversation, over the other 6 people or 5 people or 20 people who are sitting around you. It's boring. You don't want to be assailed by somebody else's accomplishments, so don't do it to them. Okay, what not to do? Send that generic invitation. I want to add you to, I want to add you to my, I can't remember exactly. I want to add you to my professional network. No. Okay, making it all about you. We just talked about that. Being over familiar. And guys and gals, LinkedIn isn't a dating site. And things that you might be able to get away with on other sites are great. But, there are still people who are inappropriately familiar on LinkedIn. And often they start with something seeming innocuous like, hi, you have a nice smile. Let's connect on LinkedIn. Sometimes you don't want to, so I wouldn't give people the impression that you're doing anything other than conducting business. Pitching your products or services. No. You don't want to do that. And finally, being deceptive. And that means representing yourself as someone who you're not. If you've been with me for a while, you know that this is all about your personal brand. And your personal brand says that you're authentic and you're making a promise as to who you are. So being deceptive, being manipulative, being phony, none of that stuff works on LinkedIn. So listen up. What makes an irresistible LinkedIn invitation? Okay, this is the formula for what you're going to want to do. 1, it's a personalized introduction. Now on LinkedIn, everywhere you look, they are popping up with people for you to, these are your recommended connections, connect with so-and-so. Don't ever connect with anybody from any place other than their profile. Always, make this a mantra. You do not connect with anyone other than on their profile, because on their profile, that's where you can put a 300 character. That's not very long. 300 character invitation, personal invitation. When you go to someone's profile and you click that you want to invite them to connect, it will give you the option of opening up and sending a personal note. Bingo, that's where you want to be. So you're going to send a personalized introduction. You're going to mention something that you have in common, or even compliment them, but not saying that they have a nice smile, okay? How you offer value. Give a hint as to what it is that you do. A warm sign-off. And then finally, and that was it, okay. Got ahead of myself. Okay, there are 5 P's to a personalized invitation. It should be personal. It should be polite. It should be pertinent, meaning relevant to who they are. It should be professional, and it should be praiseful. Again, that compliment, and you know what I'm going to say. No hinky compliments. Okay, so let's get into some actual examples. And these are the ones that I'm going to give you the cut and paste templates for. So these are just some examples of things you could do. So if you meet someone at an event, you can say, hi, whoever it was. It was great meeting you at the event. I enjoyed our talk about, and that's where you're going to put a little bit about their talk, and, what you see as, something that, you're going to mention something that you talked about and compliment them on it. And then say, let's connect on LinkedIn and keep abreast of any new developments. Thanks. Warm, and your name. Now, you're not going to copy this word for word because obviously I'm talking about the future of online education, but your you are going to put in something very short about that event and what you talked about. Okay, here's another one. Someone who attended your school. And listen, you know, people who attended your same college or university, they are like warm leads. You know, this is a really great way to connect with them. And if you haven't seen my video on 7 ways to connect with your ideal clients, catch it the next time it's around, because I show you 7 ways that you can do that. And one of them is finding alumni. So, hi, so-and-so. I came across your profile today and noticed we both graduated from PU, Podunk University. We also majored in sales management and pursued careers with military contractors. I'll bet we crossed paths in the past. It might be fun to connect and swap war stories. You up for it? Now, you could say in here something about, you don't even have to, if there isn't a commonality more than you went to the same school. You know, in my case, I went to the University of Florida and Florida State. So if one of them is, you know, if they're a member, if they went to one of those schools, but at a different time and their major was nothing like mine, I can still hit them if they're a Gator from the University of Florida with Gator bait, or I can hit them if they went to the university or to Florida State. I'm losing it. If they went to Florida State, I can say something about the Seminoles. You know, you can always throw in something about sports from their area. You can always, you know, there are just things that you can say about your university. But in the end, it might be fun to connect and swap war stories. You up for it? Something along those lines. Okay, someone in your industry. Now, this can be someone who's in the exact same industry, or it can be somebody who's in a group for that industry or in an industry that you typically serve. So, hi, name. I've been following your remarks in the New Hope for Waffle Lovers LinkedIn group. I found your article, Implications of Climate Change for Maple Syrup Producers, both insightful and provocative. I'd love to hear more. Can we connect on LinkedIn? Thanks. And remember, I haven't put one in here, but this is a 2-for-1 here, because this is something that you can use to connect with group members too. And for those of you who don't know it, every month that you're on LinkedIn, you can invite 15 people from your groups to connect, and you don't have to have their contact information or anything. It's like having Sales Navigator for free. Okay, now this isn't for one group. This is for all your groups, but you can send out 15 of those invitations to connect a month. So so you can also do this with group members. Okay, someone you'd like to work with. And this is, maybe someone that you have you've gone to their profile and you're looking, and you've just picked up something to connect with them so that you can make that first connection and start getting to know them. Now, I did not put in this one a hint as to what I do, because this is not necessarily for me. If it were for me, I'd do it a little bit differently, and I'll show you that way too. Hi, name. I saw the article about your personal sonar app in Boaters Weekly. It's so exciting. It would have come in handy when I ran my boat aground last summer. Take it from a boating enthusiast who's also an engineer. This is going to be big. Let's connect on LinkedIn and explore your options. So I might say, and I write to LinkedIn influencers all the time. So, hey, so-and-so, I just saw your new book. You know, it is great. I'm going to be recommending this to all of my LinkedIn contacts. You know, as a fellow LinkedIn coach, I just want you to know how much I appreciate this. and then ask them to connect. So, you know, you're going to take it and make it your own, but you're going to connect with them about something that they've written or something that they've developed, you know, or a program they have, you know, something that makes it personal. Okay, and then, whoops, hold on. I just did that as an influencer, whoops. And actually, it probably wouldn't be, this probably wouldn't be an influencer, but this would be somebody that I'm just trying to approach. So if I were doing it, would be, you know, I just ran across your profile and I saw your last article on blah, blah, blah. And if you want to find those articles, folks, look in your news feed, because your news feed has all the stuff that your connections are posting and all the people that you're following. So you're going to find a way to connect with them. And then you might, you know, and then talk about connecting and discussing options. An influencer in your field or industry. I got ahead of myself with the last one. Hi, Name. I just finished reading Feline Heroes of the Crimean War. It's a masterpiece. A gripping saga of heroic felines who refused to sacrifice their principles and gave their lives instead. I'm inspired and challenged by their story. I'd love to connect with you and discuss your next project. So I could say, I'm connected with Adam Houlihan, and this is actually how I connected with him. He wrote a book called Influencer. That's all about how to become an influencer on LinkedIn. So, hi, Adam. I just finished reading Influencer, and it is a real masterpiece. Your concept of service selling instead of social selling is really, really powerful. I'd love to connect with you here on LinkedIn. And that's basically what I told her. Okay, a competitor or a colleague. And if you have seen my webinar about 7 ways to connect, you'll know why you want to connect with your colleagues. Hi, Name. I just finished your article, Why Johnny Still Can't Read, in the Pachyderm Press. You've drawn some startling conclusions, and I'd like to discuss them with you. Having spent most of my life on safari, I consider myself an expert on the big guys. Let's connect and get the ball rolling. Thanks, your name. You don't have to be witty. I'm just having fun with these. But, you know, you could certainly look in your news feed. You can, if you have Sales Navigator, you can look at their most recent articles in Sales Navigator, or you can go to their profile and go down to their activities section and click See All Activity, and that's going to show you all their posts and everything. So you have ways to connect this way. And you can do that same research with someone that you want to connect with, who's a possible client that you want to work with. You know, just look at their profile for activities, look in your news feed, and then if you have Sales Navigator, it's even easier by checking their latest activities. Okay, request a warm introduction. Hi, Name. Now this is when, let me back up here for a minute. All of you know that on LinkedIn, you have first, second, and third degree connections. Your first degree connections are those people who you have invited and they have accepted, or they've invited you to connect and you've accepted. Okay, so you are directly connected with these people. Now, the power of your first degree connections is that, or excuse me, the second degree connections are the connections of your first degree connections. If you were on Facebook, you could say they were friends of friends. Okay, so the importance of second degree connections is that your first degree connections can introduce you to them. And a warm introduction is always so much better. Okay, so this is actually a message that you would send to someone with whom you are already connected, and asking them to make an introduction for you. So, hi, so-and-so. It's been a while since we last talked. Hope all is well in your world. As you'll recall, I work with coaches and consultants to help them develop LinkedIn lead generations and sales systems. I see you're a fellow coach. I'm actively growing my network right now and see that you're connected to Beaver Cleaver. Would you be willing to introduce us? If you could copy each of us, I'll take it from there. I'm attaching a brief paragraph about me that you're welcome to include. Now, the reason that I'm saying to do that is that you want to make it as easy for them as possible. So they can just send out this introduction. They can include both of you on the message, and they can include that paragraph that you wrote for them and just say, if you want to know more about so-and-so, so hopefully if I'm sending this to Jane, a connection, and she gets that, she's going to send out a message, and copy me, with an introduction saying, check, Dumont is a specialist in, and then she's going to have my paragraph. So that makes it really easy to get those warm invitations. And that is always, bar none, the easiest way to get an invitation. It does take a few more steps, and that person has to be willing to do it. You'll notice here, that I reminded her of what I do, and then I said, I'm actively growing my network. So I'm giving her a reason, that I want to do this. But what if Jane tells me no, or she just doesn't respond? Well, you can be a name dropper. So this is another way to do it. And that's, and there are a lot of ways. This is one way. Hi, so-and-so. I came across your name today and noticed that we have 50 mutual connections. And there are some of my LinkedIn contacts that I have over 80 connections in mutual connections with them. I see you're a fellow coach. I help coaches land more of their ideal clients without being pushy or manipulative. I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. So you could do it that way. Or you could say, I came across your name today and noticed that you're friends with Mary so-and-so. So am I. I've known Mary since she was doing such and such, and then, include a little bit about yourself. So you're using that familiar, you're making that your familiarity, that you're making that the personal message and the familiarity, and personalization that you need. So these are different ways that you can connect. Now, tomorrow when you get your recording, you'll be able to download some of these, you'll be able to download these templates. So I will give that to you then. Now, I wanted to mention that coming next week, we're going to be doing the how to build an all-star LinkedIn profile. And if you hang around at the end, I'll also be doing free profile reviews. Okay. And next week, we are introducing our new essential LinkedIn profile checklist. It's going to be so cool. This checklist has exactly what you need to do to evaluate your LinkedIn profile. You're just going to go down and say, does it do this? Oh, yeah, I'm handled. So I'm really looking forward to getting that to you next week. Okay, so contact me at dumont@dumontowen.com. Invite me to connect on LinkedIn. Tell me you saw the webinar. Go to my profile and send me a personal invitation. Try it out on me. This is good practice. Friend me on Facebook or schedule a free strategy session. And if you're watching this on YouTube or on my Facebook page, someplace other than in this group, go to the Lucrative LinkedIn Lead Generator Facebook group. We're a private group and apply to join. It's only you just have to answer three 3 quick questions for us to approve you quickly. So that's it on that. Let me stop sharing my screen here. Hold on. Okay, we're stopped. Let me go over, let me look at the group and see, or at the Facebook page. There's always such a lag here. Sometimes I get them right away. Sometimes I don't get them until this thing is way over. Okay, here's what I'm going to have you do. If you have a question, you can either email it directly to me, dumont@dumontowen.com, or you can put it right below this video and I will get it. All right, so Dumont Owen saying ta-ta for now.